Do you have a massive bucket list of movies that you need to watch? If you said yes, then great, because I invite you to watch this video where I try get through my bucket list of movies. And if you said no, then I'm extremely jealous of you. But since you don't have a massive list of movies to get through, you can watch me get through mine. Sound good? Hey, my name is Pavel and welcome back to the third episode of watching bucket list movies. I think it's the third episode. I feel really weird making a video when I'm all like scruffy and I haven't shaved. But I was in the shower and I was thinking, why don't I just film in the evenings? Because I come back from work and I'm like, oh, it's too dark, I don't want to film. But then I had this like eureka moment that I don't know why, it just all made sense in my head that I was like, you know what, maybe I can just make videos in the evening. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I didn't really expect to make this video, but I got my cup of coffee. It says it's been a long day. You can't see because my camera's bad and won't focus, but I have my coffee. And if you don't know how this series works, is I have a huge bucket list of movies that I need to watch on a poster. Here's the massive poster, okay? And all the grey I haven't seen. I know, it's extremely embarrassing that I haven't seen The Matrix or Moonlight. But the entire point of this series is so I actually watch them and culture myself and educate myself a little bit more. So the way I work it is, I have a generator on my laptop that I don't actually have open because I forgot to do that. Nice. And I will see what movie we are watching in this episode. So in a second, let me put this down actually. In a second, I'm gonna swap to my phone and I'll show you the screen of my laptop and yeah, we'll just see what I'm watching today. This is the third episode, as I said. I kind of go into more detail about this in the first episode, which I will link in my bio. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it and let's go see what I'm going to be watching this episode. Cool. Okay, hello. Here is the huge list. I'm going to press it. I do not know those sounds. Okay, let's see what we're actually going to be watching today. And it's going to be, oh, The Matrix. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. This is my second time filming this part actually because I just realized my boxers were in the background when I looked over, when I actually rewatched the clip. So let me do attempt 2. So we're watching The Matrix. I know a little bit about it. I know very little. I know like the general discourse about like red pill, blue pill type of thing and even the memes online and stuff like that. That's all I know, but I kind of need some context about it and I actually want to understand why, what's a red pill, what's a blue pill. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just watch it and see what I think and I'll give you my opinion about it. Cool, they're back. Okay. So, I just finished watching The Matrix, directed by Lana and Lily Wachowski. And yeah, I really like this movie. I'm going to start off by saying, I feel like if Charlie XCX go back the year 99 and direct a movie, I feel like it would be this. I don't know why, but I feel like that's what she would make. Anyway, okay. I obviously really like this movie. I don't really know where to start speaking about it, but I'm going to talk about how 90s it feels, like from the way the movie is graded to just the way the characters speak, the way it's directed, the way it's edited. It just feels so late 90s. And with the computers and phones in it, I just kind of loved the general aesthetic it creates, and I think it's kind of remained. And I think that aesthetic is extremely popular right now, so therefore it's aged extremely well. And going along the theme of timelessness, I feel like this movie has remained extremely timeless because of kind of like the general theme of it and the kind of like type of questions it throws at Neo and the audience. For example, it's quite philosophical in its questions throughout, like what is life, like what is smell, what is taste, and stuff like that. Like those are general philosophical questions that would actually make the viewer and Neo kind of question life and everything happening around it. And I feel like the directors of this movie just read a whole lot of Nietzsche, a whole lot of Orwell, a whole lot of Zamayatan or Huxley and stuff like that, and kind of just used all their knowledge and made The Matrix. Like, I don't know if The Matrix is based off a book. If it is, okay, it makes sense. But I kind of feel like reading all those dystopian authors made this movie happen. Like, for example, I know for Neo, like, and even all of the characters in this movie, where they are is utopia, not a dystopian world. Dystopian is actual reality and society and how they kind of view the actual real life world, or the Matrix as like a cancer, as something that's just horrible, that they don't want to live in. All those philosophical questions and all those authors that I've just mentioned all being merged into a movie like this just makes it extremely interesting and also quite thought-provoking to an extent. But I also know this movie is kind of like a blueprint for like schemes that prey off like vulnerable people. They're kind of like, oh, you're kind of like, Neo, do you see yourself working a 9-to-5 job and you're miserable all the time? Follow this $500 per month scheme, and with this scheme you'll get out of the matrix and you'll live your best life. Like, I've definitely seen that throughout YouTube. Like, this movie is used to kind of influence the vulnerable and kind of like exploit them. It's so fucked, but I understand it why, because it's kind of, as I said, it's a theme that's quite universal, as you know, working a 9-to-5 and being extremely fed up with it and not enjoying it, and all those sort of themes and everything else that's mentioned throughout this movie, it all kind of makes sense why it happens, and it's so fucked that it does happen. But I also found that this movie in the late 90s like discussed the themes of AI and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that is just a conversation that's been quite mainstream in the last few years, and I feel like having that as a theme and just a part of general discussion in the late 90s is so interesting. So yeah, I think that's extremely great as well. But I also feel like some of the quotes in this movie do come across as a little bit funny. Like, there's a quote that goes like, wait, let me just double check it. It says, "Why do my eyes hurt? Because you've never used them before," and stuff like that. I love it. You know, it's funny. It's funny to me now, but probably like when it came out, it was like very deep and very serious. You know what's aged extremely well in this movie? It's the outfits. They look so fucking cool. Every time I put on my leather jacket from now on, I'm gonna feel like Neo with my big docs on and my big leather jacket on. Loved it. The outfits were so cool. And initially, I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to talk about the action scenes. Like, initially I was like, okay, the music is a bit weird. I don't really know how I feel about Neo and everybody running on walls and just doing all these weird performances. But towards the end, when you get to like the last 20 minutes and there's just action scenes and they're all fighting and everything is slow-mo and the music, everything mixed, it just looks so cool and so badass. So it does work. It really does work. It takes some time to build up to it working really well, but it does work. So in general, I think I really like this movie. I think I'd give it like a 8 out of 10. I don't know why I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but like 8 just feels right. It's extremely original and it's timeless and it's just works so well, especially like with the literature I've read throughout my life and throughout my degree, philosophical stuff, and just as I mentioned, like the more dystopian writers, it just all seems to work really well, and it seems to all be kind of influenced by that. Not even like influenced, it just kind of all works together, and I see themes throughout the literature that is displayed throughout this movie as well, and I really liked it. If I had to pick a pill, I think I would just say blue, because I'm really boring and, you know, I'm just lazy, and I just, you know what, let me just take whatever the stimulation is and I'll just be happy. Red pill, blue pill, you don't take one. And thank you so much for watching this video. I always ask at the end of every single video, what movie should I watch next? Let me know in the comments or on my Instagram at PavelSpam. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Okay, the Matrix is finished. I don't even know how many I've left to go. Oh yes, the 2 pills. Very nice. That's where we're at so far. Well, that's what's left basically. There you go.